Today I am here to start off the summer session, and I think it's been just about a year since I last spoke here in Sacramento. As many of you know, for the last 4 years, Reverend Carol and I have been trying to take care of the Marysville Buddhist Church, and with our 38 members strong, we still keep the doors open every week with the help of the Sacramento Minister Assistants and Jim Edgman today leading our Dharma discussion up in Marysville. But since this is our home turf, it's always good to be home. So how's everyone doing today? Everyone doing good? Okay, good. So as usually, I start off service with a little bit of a recap of what's been going on in and around our family at Team Castle headquarters. Last weekend, Carol and I joined many of you here today for our sixth annual or biannual rummage sale. How many were here for the rummage sale? Raise your hand. A lot? Oh, good. It was a great opportunity for folks to clean out their houses and sell. It was also a great way to come together as a Sangha, as each day of the rummage sale and the prep, we had over 140 volunteers come out and help each day. While it was a ton of work, it was fun seeing so many of our friends come out, and it was a time for us to catch up as well. Now last night, as many of you know, we gathered at the Sacramento Doubletree to say thank you and to officially begin the retirement process for two very special people, Reverend Bob and Reverend Patty Oshda. It was an amazing night with almost 700 people in attendance. While we were truly happy for our friends taking this next step, there were many tears were shed, but it was a good way to start off their retirement as well. Lastly, for those of you who remember our little daughters, Leanne and Carrie, running around the temple here, Leanne is now living and working in Honolulu, Hawaii, working at the Waikiki Aquarium. And our baby Carrie just finished her 3rd year at UC Davis. So Mom and Dad are very happy she's only got 1 more year till graduation. That's good. Today we are fortunate to have a couple of very special visitors here. We're fortunate to have Reverend Kyo Kuwahara, co-director of the Center for Buddhist Education at the Jodo Shinshu Center. And Sensei has brought Sensei Nishitani from Japan. Sensei Nishitani is visiting, doing research for her graduate studies. So thank you for coming today. Would you all please join me in Gassho? Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Namo Amidabatsu. Namandam. So today with our summer service kickoff, I thought I'd keep it simple, and today I'd like to simply talk about what I like about Buddhism. And while it seems like this is a pretty safe topic, the reason for my topic started out with a strong reaction I had several months ago to comments made in social media about Buddhism. Now late last year, one morning as I started off my day with my usual morning bowl of Special K and Apple Jacks, I was on the computer on Facebook, and I saw an interesting post relating to Buddhism as a religious infection. Evangelical Christian Pat Robertson was conducting his weekly talk show when a caller called in with the following scenario. And while I'm going to paraphrase a little bit just to save time, this is pretty much close to the actual conversation. Now, the caller claimed to be employed in an environment where all of my coworkers are Buddhists. They talk about Buddhism all day, and they try to preach it to me. The caller was asking for advice on what to do to be safe from these Buddhist coworkers, how to be safe from being converted. Now, my first reaction was kind of twofold. My first reaction was, where in this country are all these Buddhists hanging out? Where are they working? Because I don't see that. And second was a little bad voice in the back of my head saying, well, now you know how we feel, because sometimes it's hard being the only Buddhist in a crowd, huh? But those comments I kept to myself. And we won't keep that on video, right, Gary? No, okay, very good. So when Robertson was given this scenario by the caller and her asking for advice, using the simile, using the example of working in a hospital, Robertson stated that eventually, if you're in a place where everybody has a disease, sooner or later, you'll be infected by it. And I thought, wow, thinking of Buddhism as a disease, huh? Pretty interesting. And he finally responded to the caller by advising her to quit her job because she was, again, being at risk of being infected with Buddhism. Infected with Buddhism. Well, I'm sure that he meant this as probably a negative. I thought to myself, wow, being infected with wisdom, being infected with compassion, and the ability to see the truth around us. And I thought, how lucky for all of us here today to be infected with Buddhism, huh? And how maybe terrible that sounds to others. After thinking about this for a few minutes, I thought, how sad that often other teachings don't embrace the idea of different people being able to follow their own path. A path different from them, but simply just different. With totally no disrespect to other practices, I thought to myself, how thankful I am that in Buddhism, there is no criticism of other paths or other practices. Buddhism even recognizes that our own path is truly just meant solely for us. My path is simply my path. This made me think of Dr. Haneda's book, Dharma Breeze. Dharma Breeze. Reverend Keo's smiling. Yeah. If you've not read this book, I recommend you put it on your summer reading list. Now, Dr. Haneda, like myself, was not raised in a Buddhist family. And as a young adult, he too made a conscious decision to start another path, the path of Buddhism. When he was asked how he switched from a Christian-based practice to Buddhism, Haneda had to think deeply, as he had truly never thought about ever having switched, having dropped one and picking up another. Sensei writes, "By getting to know Buddhism, I came to have a deeper appreciation of Christianity. I do not see a conflict with studying both. Buddhism means to studying all kinds of things and embracing all of them. Buddhism means realizing an all-embracing attitude, nothing else. It means realizing a broad and empty mind that encompasses all. It means realizing a position in which I can learn and appreciate all kinds of things." I read this and I think, right on. This attitude, this concept, is what I like about Buddhism. Again, while I hope I never criticize or try to diminish other religions, this is something that I see to be a huge difference in the Buddhist path: the freedom to study and embrace the truth that surrounds us, with no labels, no restrictions, and no fear. Now, Dr. Haneda continues on with trying to fully explain the concept of Buddhism with the simple illustration of a fruit basket, Now, a fruit basket can hold many types of fruit, huh? An apple, an orange, a peach, a pear. Most religions, I think, based upon their fixed definition and rules, want to label themselves as only an apple, only a pear, only a peach. But Buddhism is not a fruit in the fruit basket. Buddhism is the fruit basket. Does that make sense? Buddhism is the fruit basket. Buddhism is the basket. It's the basket that holds all of the other ideas and practices in it. So again, finally there's that question that I'm often asked: what do I like about Buddhism? What was the draw to me? I like the fact that Buddhism requires me to study in all kinds of things and embracing all. Buddhism does not ask me to believe anything, but it demands that I question everything. Test it, try it on. Does it fit? Buddhism means realizing an all-embracing attitude, nothing else. I like the idea that there are few, if any, boundaries in the idea of studying and practicing. And I also like the inclusive nature of Buddhism. And by inclusive, I mean Buddhism is open to all. Now, in my world, inclusive of women is a huge issue for me. All through my path in studying and ordination in Japan, Carol, Reverend Patty, Sensei Grace, and even Michiko Yukawa were all so much a part of my experience. As fellow travelers, they were welcomed not only up on the altar, but also welcomed to wear their robes as a minister. Both of my daughters have gone through the Youth Minister Assistant Program, can wear the YMA robes, and sit up on the altar with me, not only as women, but as youth. And if that doesn't make sense, look at the altar today. We have many of our youth minister assistants here coming back from college and visiting. And it was such a surprise to see them all here because we thought it was only going to be like 2 or 3 of us up here. So again, welcome to the YMAs that came today. So even though I can say I totally don't agree with or see the point of what Mr. Robertson said, I want to thank him for making me take time to think about what I like about Buddhism. Thank you for thinking that Buddhism is something that can be spread like a virus. And again, if compassion, if wisdom, and gratitude, and truth are things that can be spread like a cold, I hope I am very successful in spreading this terrible, terrible disease. Again, thank you very much for coming today. I think, Koichi, are you going to close us out with a gatha today?
Okay, sure.
Yeah. We don't have an organist here. We sometimes don't have organists on Sundays during the summer, but Koichi thought it would be nice to still finish off with a gatha. And I think we're going to start or end with farewell.
Yeah, just that.
So I'm going to ask everyone to please stand up with no organist to help us and sing the gatha farewell, which is on page 97?
96.
96.
Okay, ready? Okay.
Dharma school is over for another day. Let us gather round the shrine, bow our heads and say, thank you, teacher, for your help. Thank you, everyone. Buddha's love will keep us safe till our work is done. So we'll meet again next week. Won't you take good care? Let us try to do what's right, always kind and fair. We shall spread the happiness faith in Buddha brings. Now it's time to say goodbye till we meet again. Namo Amida Butsu, sing this fine refrain. Namo Amida Butsu, sunny day or rain. Namo Amida Butsu, strong in faith remain. Namo Amida Butsu, till we meet again.
Namanda, namanda, namanda. So again, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for being here this morning. Do we have anyone with announcements? Any announcements? Oh my gosh, how nice. Would you please join me in closing Gasho? Namo Amida Butsu.
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 Namanda, namanda.